This podcast is brought to you by the Spur of the Moment podcast.
As far back as I can remember, I have wanted to be an entrepreneur. Now, I am here to guide you through the intricate paths of building your business, embracing emerging technologies, and navigating the startup world. I am Saul Tarazona, and this is Startup Corps, your go-to podcast for entrepreneurial insights and tech-driven success. Hello, everyone. This is Startup Corps, your podcast for entrepreneurs and innovation technologies. We're here presenting J.R. Davis, speaking to us from
all the way from Arizona. How are you?
Fantastic. Please introduce yourself and tell us more about you.
Pleasure to meet you. Thanks for having me today, Saul. My name is J.R. Davis. I'm the executive vice president of a company called Sivad Group, a company that is produced and orchestrated by my father, the CEO, and then along with my brother, who is the executive vice president of our transportation division.
Fantastic. So tell me, what made you become an entrepreneur? What was the impulse? What drive you there?
Well, growing up, my father was an entrepreneur his entire life. So I had an example of what an entrepreneur looks like. And then so myself and my brother, when we got the opportunity during 2020 to work with my father and help start this business, which Sivad, if you've never seen it before, right, you're never going to unsee this. Sivad is Davis spelled backwards, which is our last name. And so what inspired us was to be able to work with our father and then also make an impact, do something in the community, bring something sustainable to businesses. And that's how we got started.
Tell me more about this community drive. What is what you do for the community? What makes you think about something positive for them?
Absolutely. So ultimately, it's really out of 2020, the pandemic hit, and my father gave me a call and my brother a call and said, "Hey, I want to try to, see where we can help out, whether it be, supplying PPE or supplying COVID testing." We were fortunate to be able to work with a major organization and be able to provide over 1.6 million COVID tests to a major restaurant chain. And that made us want to see what else we could do for the community. I'm really big into sustainability. We got one earth. We're all the same. We got to protect it. So how do we bring sustainable solutions? And that's kind of how it evolved. So it evolved from helping with PPE and COVID testing to then looking at sustainable solutions to better impact our community. And we felt the best way to do that is by working with businesses.
So about sustainability. So on the United Nations sustainability goals, how many of those are you tapping to?
So we tap into a couple. When it comes to sustainability, we look at our indoor air quality solution with our partner Timilon, which are based out of Florida. We've been able to take that sustainability, work with some EPA initiatives, and be able to ensure that indoor air quality is something that's sustainable, safe, and healthy for all. We also work with some plant-based organizations that provide resin in that aspect. And once again, we act as that partnership to really bring it to the forefront. One of the things that we specialize in from a company standpoint is our relationships and our network. And so in our combination with working with certain manufacturers, we like to bring those sustainable solutions to the forefront.
From these relationships that you're using, are any of them on the technology side? Like, are you using innovation technologies at the moment?
We are. So currently right now, even with our indoor air quality solution, once again, this is powered by Timilon. They're using AI technology to help not only detect, reflect, but correct indoor air quality. We also are looking at onboarding a new solution around compliance in regards to technology mixed with compliance, mixed with being able to create a sustainable ecosystem for organizations. More to come on that.
All right, all right. Tell us a little bit. This is a very interesting application of AI, and I'm tending to speak more and more on AI because it's so hot, definitely. So, why don't you explain a little bit more, double click on that, and explain what the technology is about, what it does?
Yeah. So if I can make it super simple for you, as I mentioned before, this technology is designed to correct the indoor air quality, reflect it in data, and then also correct it, right? So do something about it, make the indoor air quality safer. A lot of people say, I got air purifiers and, I got them in different locations and I think that they work. But how do you know that indoor air quality is working? Where's the reports? Where's the proof? And so with this technology, using AI technology to correct, continue to get better at the reporting aspect of it, we've seen a really appetite for it in the transportation space, where we've been able to work with the state of Delaware transportation system, DART, as one of the first pioneers to adopt this technology. And now we have this particular indoor air quality system in over 300 plus buses that my brother Dustin was the lead on that and really brought us into that frontier. We've also worked with the city of Monroe in Louisiana, another pioneer in this space. And so we're continuing to grow. People want to feel safe. People want technology involved. People want to see what they're actually getting and see results. And this is where this innovative, technology produced by Timberline has definitely allowed us a space to make that impact.
So what you mean is on a bus, when we ride any bus, you're gonna have your air conditioning system. That air conditioning system is gonna be cleaning the air, recirculating and cleaning it, and maybe killing some bacteria, killing some viruses. How does it work?
Yeah. So what I love about this technology is that it's a plug and play technology. It's a complement to the HVAC system that's on buses. Obviously, the HVAC system is designed to do two things: heat and cool the actual air that's on in anywhere, particularly a bus. But what about once the air is inside the bus? When people start to cough, or when there's flu season, or God forbid another pandemic happens, think about all of that, toxins that come in from outdoor air. How are we cleaning the indoor air? How are we keeping our customers safe? How are we keeping our bus drivers safe? So on and so forth. So what this does is the system detects, different VOCs, particular matters. Um, it also looks at if there's any allergies, pollen, humidity, and it looks at those particular situations and then it corrects it. So then the machine starts to purify the air, and it purifies up to 99.9% of the indoor air quality. So ensuring that while you're sitting on that bus or that train or that plane, your indoor air quality is safe. So we've all been in this situation, right? You're sitting on a bus or you're sitting on an airplane and somebody sneezes. First thing you think is, oh God, am I going to get sick? Right? Because we know because of the pandemic that airborne viruses, they travel, they're airborne. And so what are we doing inside? And so with this solution, we're bringing that to the forefront. We want everyone to be safe.
So on the airline case, so how would you implement this in an airliner?
So an airliner, essentially, you would probably have anywhere between 2 to 3 devices that would just be at the roof of or almost like a ceiling fan or like a light where you would put a light, and we would connect it, and then essentially the system would work autonomously. So it's really just a plug and play solution.
So they're called the packs on the airliner. So what will you put? Would you put something before or after? Is kind of a filter? Is a spray? Is a water? I don't get it.
Yeah, no worries. So it's an air purifier system.
Mhm.
Okay, you think about your standard air purifier, and essentially, what you would do, you could either retrofit it to any train, plane, or bus, or it's something that could be built as part of the design.
Okay, that would be even better if you do it on the before that. Yeah, maybe. All right.
Absolutely,
Fantastic, fantastic.
absolutely.
Any more clients that you can tell? I know maybe some secrecy here, but anyone that is already using your product?
Yeah, so like I said, we got two major state um, uh, transportation industries using in the state of Delaware, which was the first, and then the city of Monroe, which is out of Louisiana. We're currently working with the city of Detroit and Smart Bus to be able to apply this same technology with them. We also focus on schools as well. We've also had some success with Wilmington University in the state of Delaware. We also are working with the city of Monroe bus fleet as well. We're also working out of the great state of Michigan with a transportation company, Smart Bus. So doing some great things there. And then we are based out of the great state of Delaware, even though I'm live here from Arizona. So we've also worked in schools. Schools are a major key point for us as well. So we have some success with the Wilmington University. They've adopted our indoor air quality system as well, keeping their students safe, and also starting to work with the great state of Delaware State University. We have a passion for HBCUs.
So can I consider you, are you still a small business or not anymore?
Hey, small is just a matter of language, right? We technically on paper we still are a small business, proud to be so. My father would tell you this: we're a business, small, large. We're a business, and we do good work, and so that's what we like to focus on: doing good business. Should the
Fantastic.
size really matter? Should the size really matter, Saul?
And there, for these days, for what I'm about to say, is that the reason why I'm asking is because there's so many grants, so many government funds for small business innovation, people that are like you are creating jobs. How many people do you have employed?
Yeah, so currently we have about 10 to 15.
Fantastic. So W-2s or consultants or kind
A
of
mixture of
permanent?
both. A mixture of
Okay.
both.
Okay. That's fantastic. So you see, that's what the government is looking to create jobs, to re-energize the economy, to make things at home here in the US. So that's fantastic. So I will honestly recommend you to take a look of so many grants that you can apply for. Is honestly free money, but as long as you do what you said you're gonna do. Yeah, I'm not saying it's easy, but once you get the knowledge of how to apply for those, you're all set. So there's
Hey,
many
Saul,
things, many things.
nothing in life is easy. Nothing in life is easy, especially starting a small business. As you mentioned, it takes a lot of grit, takes a lot of effort, a lot of determination and motivation. So our company, Sivad, is not afraid of hard work.
Fantastic, fantastic. So let me ask you a few things. Remember that this podcast is to help entrepreneurs to be successful. So from the lessons learned, the things that all the mistakes you did, what can you share with us so we learn from you?
Yeah, absolutely. Love to share. I think when you're starting a small business or a new business, a startup, whatever the case may be, you're just so eager, so excited to make decisions. And one of the things I'll tell you early on is, it comes fast. Success does come fast when it does come. And so you got to be prepared. And the biggest thing I would tell you is take your time, talk things over, have a plan prior to getting the money, right, or getting that big deal. Know what you're going to do with it before it even comes in. Communication is key, just like in any relationship. Business is a relationship. You gotta talk. The communication has to be open and often, as I say.
Open, effective, and very efficient.
Absolutely.
I will
Time
add.
is money.
Oh my God, yes. So from the 100% time that you use before starting the business, would you say you use 70%, 50% in planning or less than that?
Yeah, I want to say that we
Honestly,
use like
honestly,
so I
honestly.
want to say we do 70%, but we're probably about 50-50. 50 of it is planning and the other 50 is executing in the pursuit of sales and opportunities. But planning is key. Planning is key. If you don't plan, then you're planning to fail.
Absolutely. I love that. I was about to say that. You took my thunder.
So today's episode is sponsored by the Spur of the Moment podcast, everybody. Come join us every Saturday. We're going to do this. We're going to sit here. We're going to talk about the news. Time to talk about the Minecraft.
Okay.
It looks
So,
bad. We're going to talk about movies. That new Joker movie is apparently terrible, and I want to see it so badly because I hear it's awful. And we're going to make some jokes. We're going to have some laughs.
There's a lot of funny jokes in there. There's a lot of weird jokes in there. The Channing Tatum one will always make me laugh, especially when you hear the behind the scenes stuff. Like when you hear the behind the scenes story of how they just phoned them up.
We're occasionally going to have other people along for the ride.
A really fun fact, though, is I learned last year that that Coraline was Leica and not Disney.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I can see why you would make that mistake. Yeah. Because it does seem like it's a different. And to be fair,
that would be a horrifying, terrible Disney movie.
It would be because yeah. And we're just gonna have a generally good time. George, do you have anything else you want to say about our podcast? Make people watch it.
We watch movies. Sometimes we watch shows, but we always have fun.
Here
On the spur. 3, 2, 1. On the spur of the podcast moment.
Yeah, we nailed it. Nailed it. That's fun.
Podcast.
Yeah. It's Spur of the Moment podcast every Saturday. We nailed it.
You can expect awesome content like that.
We cut flawless promos every single week.
So when you sit and create a project plan or creating the strategy, do you come together with your team or you had to do it on your own? How was that kind of task?
Yeah, it's a combination. I like to think a lot. One of my roles as the executive vice president of operations is just thinking about the bigger picture, thinking about how things can move forward, how they're going to flow, process and procedures. So some of the ideas obviously come up that I bring to the table. It's just a strength that I play. My brother plays more of a strength of sales and execution. My dad has that global visionary. He's a visionary. So right? He's bold and confident. So when I think about some of the strategies, I'm doing some research. I'm looking at the world. I'm looking at the scene of this world to try to determine where we fit and where our solution could help. And then obviously, there's no I in team, but there is in win, as Kobe once said. And so we do come together, right? We come together, we talk about the ideas that I may come, and then, then we execute.
Yeah, of course, there might be some friction because it's family. If you have frictions with just co-workers, I could imagine that you may have some friction with family because they know you best. You have these little things in here. Sometimes that happen, right?
No, me and my brother are like best friends. We're perfect. No,
Awesome.
not at all. Not at all. I wish. No, of course there's friction. We're passionate. We want to be successful. We want to achieve our goals. We have families. So when we think about, with those frictions and those disagreements, you're going to have those moments. The bigger picture is to let ego go, listen to one another, and hear a different perspective. You're not always right. And so if you go into any conversation knowing that you're not always right, that will help get you through some of those testy disagreements.
Right, that's a pretty good strategy. I like it. So tell me a little bit about leadership. So it seems that your father became the leader, but at some point he may need to transition to be retired, and then you or your brother is going to take over. How's that? How do you see that role playing?
Yeah, my father has done an amazing job, especially over the last 5 years or so, working with myself and my brother and teaching us that we all have different gifts, and that leadership comes in different forms, and that as long as we work together and show leadership to our customers, to show leadership in the industry, to show leadership when we're speaking to our team, then we'll be successful. He always tells us that we have to be on the same page, and there could be no division amongst myself and my brother. And so, as he's prepares us to take over, and over the years, he's given us more responsibility, more decision making. And so, with that being said, I can say that our leadership has grown leaps and bounds, but we still got a lot to go. We'll never stop learning. We'll never stop, perfecting or trying to perfect being good leaders. And you got to keep that in mind as you're growing a business. It's never like completed. You're never like the ultimate leader.
Absolutely. So on the hiring, you got to do a lot of hiring, don't you?
Yeah, yep. Actually, we do.
So what I'm looking at the moment is that there's so many challenges for the people to apply for jobs and get even an interview. Would you give us some advice on for these people that are trying to find a job, maybe to try to start in an industry like yours? What is the do's and don'ts on applying for jobs or finding the jobs?
hmm great question, Saul. There's a couple things. One, people want to know what their job role is going to be, so you got to make sure that you know what you're asking for. So job description is key. You don't want it to be ambiguous, or you're going to get general results. You also want to make sure that you get someone that has a specialty. I would say we come in a world where it's like, I want you to do everything. And in small business, you find yourself doing a lot of everything. But to expect that from someone coming in, especially if they don't have experience in this particular business, you want to get someone who knows what they're doing in a specialty role. So if you need an accountant, get an accountant. Don't ask the accountant to be a salesperson too.
Yeah. Everybody needs to be in the lane, right? So what were the challenges that you had like on the very early years of this business?
Yeah. Well, we still got challenges now. There's a
Mhm.
couple of challenges. Obviously, we're a diverse organization. We're a proud minority business. So with the current climate, there are some things that we have to address. Again, we also needed to address a changeover. When you're building a business, not everybody who starts with you is going to be able to stick it out with you. And so just understanding turnover, having a healthy view of loyalty. Some of the people that we started with, we love them to death. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are. But again, people change. People have different ambitions. Some folks that have worked with us had went on to do their own business, right? So we've been able to influence others. So one of the challenges is just maintaining a core group of individuals who are passionate about the vision of providing sustainable solutions that our company, led by my father, has started from 2020.
Wow, it's 5 years. Fantastic, honestly.
Made it.
Congratulations to your father and your family. A family business. That's very interesting. You see that I seen some in aviation, which is mostly my industry, and they have the challenge of people leaving the company but creating their own company, which become the competitors. That has happened to you or not?
Uh, in one way or another,
Mhm.
as my father would say, that's just business. Those things are gonna happen. I don't know. You think of Walmart, then you got Kmart. I mean, people see a good strategy, people see a good business plan, and smart people, ambitious people will want to copy that. We feel like we do it the best.
So talking about a strategy and international expansion. So you're currently when you're moving into a few states now. What is the strategy, let's say 5 years? Where do you see yourself at the company?
Yeah, 5 years that used to be something that you could really put your finger on. There's a lot of movement in different corporations. There's a lot of different movement in the political scene. So it's kind of tough to map out what 5 years looks like. I can tell you that within the next 2 years is that we plan to make ourselves eligible in every state to be able to offer our solution around transportation. Um, and with some of the partnerships that we have, we see that working out really well. We realize that we can't do all things. We're not a one size fits all. But if we focus on the transportation space, where millions of people travel every day, um, we feel that we can make a strong headway. I like to liken it to Amazon. Amazon, as we know, Amazon started off as a book company. I mean, I think we all can remember getting that calls. Would you like to get an Amazon membership for books? Okay. Now look at Amazon today. So our short-term plan is to stay focused on what we're doing and providing sustainable solutions in the transportation space using this innovative AI technology purification system, right? That's an impact. That's working for us. In the meantime, we do have other layers to our organization, other sustainable solutions, so that when organizations do get involved with us, just know that we're adaptable, we're growing, and we're constantly doing the work to make sure that we're a good partner and a good supplier for organizations.
No, definitely very important to be adaptable. That's survivability in the startup world. Or you
Absolutely.
pivot, you had to move, you cannot be stagnated just waiting for somebody to basically take your business away, all your effort, disrupt you.
100%.
So it seems like you are the disruptor with the AI technology, right?
Yeah, yeah. Along with our partners at Timberline, again, we want to make a difference, and we are, and that's why I'm so excited that you're giving us the opportunity to speak. Again, to be able to go into the market in the transportation space and bring something in an innovative piece of technology that matters, that's going to keep riders safe, give organizations data so that they can improve their functionalities, is huge. So this small business is doing something really huge, and one of my responsibilities is I want to get it out there. I want to get it out there.
No, very important. I love what you're doing. So, a few things. So, on data, the data is probably one of the biggest assets of all, if not now, in the future, definitely is going to be data. Data driven, data management, analysis, etc. So, do you have any intellectual property about that and the AI, the data, how you structure the data?
Yeah, so this is where, in our partnership with Timberline, that technology is proprietary, and it's obviously met with the best restrictions, the rigorous restrictions in regards to keeping a company's data safe. The good part about the reporting data that we gather from the indoor air quality system is that it's just reporting the actual indoor air quality, VOC, humidity. Nothing is at risk from a company standpoint. So that's something else that makes our solution low risk when it comes to data breaches. It's truly a plug and play situation.
I know when I lived in Dubai for so many years, there was this many companies in charge of cleaning the air conditioning
Mhm.
system because it's dusty. There's all the times a high humidity, so the filters get messed up. Do you see any partnership there, or just to open up the world for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. We've been in contact with some organizations that, um, when it comes to facilities management, and I think what you're referring to, if we're able to provide them the data and say, hey, in which we are, which system allows, and that's what I love about it. Outside of cleaning the air up to 99.9%, viruses, bacteria, VOCs, you name it, it also then alerts through this system, hey, it looks like you might need to change that filter that's on your bus, 2 months earlier than you might have. So we help prevent major cost when it comes to the HVAC system, prolonging its life just because of that data. And that's how important data is.
Absolutely, that we're talking preventive maintenance.
100%.
So,
100%.
for example, your sensors or your system is able to find out if there's fungus in the air or contamination.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Huh,
Yep.
very nice.
The technology was actually designed and approved by the Department of Defense. So it was actually designed, and then in collaboration with our partners at Timilon, we said, "Hey, can we bring this application to the transportation industry? We have a couple of opportunities." And so we started getting the brainstorming, and before you knew it, we have a system now that's on buses.
How hard was to breach into the government for them to see what you have, the communications, how you establish the first contact?
Yeah. So in regards to that piece of it, we weren't a part of that initial relationship in regards to getting into the government. But in working with the government in general, we know that that's not easy. Again, this was for the Department of Defense. So at the highest level, this technology was designed way before COVID, by the way, to ensure that the military was safe on different ships and planes and things of that nature. So this technology is not a last minute technology. It's kind of been in the works. We're proud that we're able to bring this type of technology, to the public, in our partnership.
So actually, COVID was an opportunity opener for you.
You know what? I believe so. What it did was it took a product that was already designed and already working for the Department of Defense, and then said, "Hey, how can we apply this to eradicating, viruses, such as COVID-19 and SARS and so on and so forth." And then it just has grown, since then. You know, People want to feel safe regardless of where they are.
Are you starting to talk about this with any aviation manufacturers or not yet?
Not too much, but we are starting to get calls. People are seeing what we're doing in with the Department of Transportation and with the buses, and they're saying like, "Hey, can we use this on our planes?" And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. So reach out if you're interested.
Very nice, very nice. By the way, why don't you tell us how we can communicate with you? Which are your channels? What are the ones that you use the most? How where people can find you?
Absolutely. So you can reach us on our website. Currently, it's at Sivad, SIVADPPE.com. We're actually doing a rebrand and a new website, so that'll be populated in about a week or so. It's going to be called Sivad Group, SIVAD Group LLC.com. And then obviously LinkedIn is probably the quickest way. You can direct message myself, my brother as well. We have a couple other sales reps and VPs of development who work with us as well in this space. So we're super excited about that. So LinkedIn is a really instant way to get with us.
What's your brother's name, please?
Yeah, his name is Dustin Davis. We call him Big D. Now he's
All
my little
right.
brother. We're 10 months and 2 weeks apart. I'm older, but he's taller. He's about 6 foot. I'm 5'8".
All right, all right, all right. Very cool, very cool. Love family businesses, honestly. Awesome. So, any last comments for any advice for entrepreneurs, startup founders that are looking to start and they're struggling big time? Any encouragement?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't give up on yourself. There's a lot of days that you're going to want to give up. Don't give up on yourself. If you know what you got is special, keep at it. Remember, you can't do anything on your own. You may want to because, trust is a factor in this business as you're growing, and the trust may be compromised at times, intentionally or not intentionally, but you can't do it by yourself. There's many people that have worked with us, Jason and Germanica Borley, Brandon, tons of people, Jeff, who's worked with us from day one. So you can't do it by yourself. Our lawyers, you name it, right? So use the resources that you have, and never give up on your dream and on your passion. If you believe in it, you can achieve it.
Absolutely. And definitely, the key factor that you mentioned there is getting the core team together earlier, because sometimes you might be missing something, missing an angle. Maybe it's your baby, especially in software. You don't want to release it yet because it's not perfect. But somebody will say, "Hey, let's push it out." There's always a different angle that will always help entrepreneurs to be more successful. 100%.
Absolutely.
Awesome, JR. It was a pleasure talking to you. Looking forward to connect further. Whenever you're expanding, please catch us back. And this is a reminder for everybody to follow us, subscribe, click on the ring bell for the next notifications for the people in YouTube and in all the podcast platforms. Please follow us. We love the comments. Keep them flowing. Thank you so much for this, JR.
I appreciate you, Saul. Thank you all. And keep doing what you're doing. You're a voice for
Thank
the
you. Thank you
people.
so much for your support. Thank you. Bye-bye.